So some of you may not be aware of a Instagram page and website called figuregrail.com. These guys specialize in bringing the latest imports from overseas to the Western markets fast and early. So if you're a reviewer like me, or maybe you just want to photograph a figure as soon as it comes out, or you're just a collector that wants to get your hands on a figure as soon as possible, then this might be a good avenue for you guys to check out. So I do strongly recommend you guys check out the link in the description below. It'll take you to the website, and also there'll be a link for the Instagram. They are fairly relatively new, so maybe a lot of you guys don't know about it, so I'm here to let you guys know that this is a good spot to get imports fairly early and fast. I know I always get asked questions about how do I get things early, and it's a lot of different avenues I go through. But here is one that I recommend to you guys to check out. He just recently got in the Gambit Mafex re-release. This is the reissue. I did miss out on the initial release, and thankfully they reissued it and I got an opportunity to purchase him again. But the thing is, the reissue sold out in seconds, literally in every single import website possible. It was pretty nuts. I missed out, and Figure Grail was the only spot that really helped me out here. They still had some, and he might have some left. I'm not sure. Just check him out, contact him, and see what they can do. I am definitely super happy that he came through with this Gambit for me, because now I can join the club, the Cool Kids Club, that claims this might be the best Gambit on the market. Possibly better than Mezco and Marvel Legends. We'll check that out in this video here. You can see him displayed through the packaging. The glare is strong with this one, so apologize for all the glares on here, but I still really dig the Mafex comic book package art. I dig it. I don't get a lot of Mafexes, and I recently almost got out of the Mafexes. I almost sold off my Wolverine and Cyclops, but with Jean Grey coming out, I figured I'd give it a chance and keep them and see how they all look, all three of them, that love triangle. So here is the side art, and they are now including these little I guess serial numbers, or this sticker on the side that kind of verifies that this is a official release and not a knockoff, because Mafex figures get knockoffs like crazy from those Chinese third parties. So you gotta be careful. You gotta stay vigilant and really inspect the box, make sure it's legit. We got Medicom Mafex logo down below. We also get another sticker on the bottom here. It's one of those like holographic. You can see it says official on there, and even within the box, now they are including little white pieces of paper. I'll show you once I open it. But on the inside, you can kind of see it in the background there. There's a white slip that says genuine product. So I don't think they were including that before. Not to say that if you pick up a figure of Gambit and it was the first release version, it may not have that and it's still a legit version. So some people may get confused. But now the new ones have that. So this is kind of how you can differentiate between the re-release and the original release. Is if it has all these stickers and that paper inside, that's the reissue version. Even though it doesn't matter, because the reissue is exactly the same figure, nothing is different. So here is that slip I mentioned that is inside the box, that pretty much is the certificate of authenticity now. You saw that little QR code I showed you on the sticker on the side of the box. There's an app you can download called Hidden Tag, and you can scan it to see if it's actually real, because they are taking precautions against fake stickers too. So now you can actually scan it, and they're saying if you scan it, it'll let you know if there's a counterfeit. Counterfeit labels will not be recognized by the Hidden Tag app. So this is pretty crazy, you know, the links that they're going to ensure that you are getting a legit product here. And then it even tells you here that you can't even remove the sticker. Like, if a knockoff company tries to get legit boxes and they remove the stickers to apply them on their fake ones, they can't do it because it's gonna rip the sticker apart, and you cannot authenticate a ripped off sticker. It just shows you that they really can't do anything about the third party companies making knockoffs of their products, but they can do this, and they can do as much as possible to authenticate. Make sure you're getting an actual product when you buy from somebody. So next time you're at a toy show, or maybe you meet up with somebody to do a trade or to buy it off of them, you can always scan the actual box and make sure that it is legit. And I hate to linger on this for so long, but I think it's really cool and I wanted to try it out. So I did download the app. I hit scan here, and then let's see if I can get it on the camera. There you go. And it's loading, and now it's telling me it is Medicom toy official item. So that's how it looks like. Guarantees this is a genuine product manufactured and distributed officially. Alright, so let's see what all the fuss was about regarding this Mafex Gambit. Why is it selling out so fast? Why does everybody want it? What is going on? Let's check him out. So he comes with a soft goods trench coat, which is really awesome. I like that. Very similar to what the Mezco Gambit came with, although the Mezco one I think was more of a pleather leather type material. This one's more just soft goods cloth. So we'll compare those, of course. But he does come with a bevy of accessories, so that's nice. And before I go into that, I do want to mention he does come with a base and a stand, which I'll leave in the package because I have so many base and stands lying around that at this point I'm just leaving them in the box right now. So I don't need any more out in the open. I don't display them in my DTOS with the base and the stand. These are only for photography and for, you know, flying poses or whatever. So I'm going to leave that there. Just want to mention that it does come included. So we do get Gambit's bow staff here, which is in this metallic blue color. Pretty straightforward. Nothing crazy, but there are some little divots in there, some little detail sculpted on there. We do get some effect pieces to add on to the bow staff. So we get this effect. So this can go on either end, but we're going to put it on this one here. So that goes on that end. And then we get another one which is sculpted differently here. We get that one. And we're going to put that on the other side. And just like that, there you go. We also do get an alternate head sculpt here. So you can see with the mouth opened and his teeth showing. A little bit more of an aggressive type of expression there. A little angry. But I really, really love that hair sculpt. My goodness, that looks great. The paint job on there is phenomenal. Love it. It looks really, really good. And then we get more effects, of course. So we get these cards that you can, of course, put in his hand. And we got some little flame effects above it. We also get a swooshing effect here, a small one of just a single card. And then we get some giant ones. So let's pan out a little bit. And here is one of them. And then here is the other one. This one's a little bit different. You can see the sculpt here. So really, really like that. There is a little peg hole here at the end. And then there's also one at the end of this one too. So 2 large ones, 1 small one, another one for his hand. And of course, we do get hands. So speaking of hands, it has been a while since I've gotten a Mafex figure. So I don't remember, but I guess they come with these little plastic pieces displaying them in the package. So it's pretty cool. These are to hold his bow staff. Of course, we get the little gripping hands here. Then we get these hands here, which I would imagine this would be for the card, at least this finger. You can probably slip it in between the figure like this. There you go. That works. So there you go. And both hands are actually posed a little differently too. You can see there. And then we get these open hands, a little bit more calm. Some wide open hands here. And then lastly, we get these wide open hands that have these giant pegs there. Of course, this is for the big effects that we just saw with the peg holes there. And they're really, really big, thick pegs so they can withstand the weight of these things. So just like that, just pegs right in. Alright, so here's a closer look at Gambit himself. And he is without a doubt a gorgeous figure. Really, really love the sculpt and the paint job. It's really, really nice. So just like his alternate head sculpt, the hair sculpt is the same. Very nice sculpt and paint job there with the reddish, brown, and black shading in there. This is a neutral, normal face with a closed mouth. So if we compare it again with the alternate head sculpt, you can see the differences there. So I like the 2 likenesses. I like the 2 expressions, I should say. That looks dope. And then of course you can see him, he is wearing his trench coat, which is how I'm going to display him. But if you do want, you can remove it. It's a little difficult to remove with the hands on there, so you kind of want to take these off. I mean, you could force it, but I'm not going to do that. Come on. So just move the arms back and then pull from the sleeves. Let's go ahead and reattach those hands. And there we go, without the trench coat. And I even saw somebody use the Mezco trench coat on the Mafex Gambit, and it looks pretty cool, but I think I'm going to stick with the Mafex trench coat. I'm fine with it. Speaking of the trench coat, here it is, just so you can get a closer look at it. Pretty nice tailoring. It's not terrible. It's really, really okay. I mean, it looks good to me. I'm fine with it. We do get bendy wires. I always welcome bendy wires, so Very cool. And now we can really see the metallic purple paint there and blue, light blue and dark blue there. Looking really clean. Clean job. Not too bad. It's not perfect. Got a little bit of a paint bleeding going on up here, but it's so small that you won't really see it, right? So it's fine. And then down to the shins or the boots here. Paint job overall looks great. As for his articulation, his head does sit on a ball joint, but it is that angled peg that they do, so you can look up quite a bit and you can look down quite a bit because that neck is also separately articulated. Very good range overall on the neck there. You can get those tilts, pretty deep tilts, and that gives him a lot of attitude and range of expression. So I always welcome the head tilts left and right, no problem. Then we get the arms. You can see we do get some butterfly joints here. This pretty deep socket for the shoulders, so it allows for a lot of range. Arms do go up, they go down, in and out pretty nicely. Back down, you can see how that whole socket kind of works. I guess, you know what? I guess technically it's not a butterfly joint, although it looks like one. It's more of just a big giant socket. So does it extend the arm forward more? Not really like a butterfly joint, so maybe I misspoke there, but it's still good enough for Gambit. I mean, this is good range. You could still kind of get a little bit of a butterfly joint movement going on there if you can kind of see that. Just not as deep as maybe Spider-Man, but we do get a bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, swivel at the wrist with a hinge at the wrist there. Then we get a diaphragm joint at the torso, bends forward and back. This thing was covered in plastic, films out of the box. They really wanted to protect with paint chips and paint rubbing. So maybe be careful when you articulate the torso because this is all metallic paint. I feel like it could rub off if you're a little too aggressive with it. So I'm going to go careful, but you can go back that far and then crunch forward. We do get a ball joint at the waist too, so that helps out with the crunching. We do get a swivel there at the waist along with the torso as well. Then we do get, no, they don't drop down. This isn't SH Figure Arts, but I figured I'd try anyways. Kicks forward, kicks back down. Pretty tight joints. I'm pretty impressed because I remember my Mafex, Wolverine, and Cyclops had like some loose joints. I think the arms would pop off on those, or the leg. I forget which one. But so far, so good here. It bends out about this far. You can see I'm being extra careful because I don't want this purple paint to rub. And it does have a little bit of a drop down feature, nothing significant though. And then we do get a thigh swivel, double jointed knees bend back about this far. And then the ankles are on a hinge. They do rock. Yeah, they do rock. And then also a ankle swivel along with a toe hinge at the foot. Right, so here's a look at him next to the Mezco Toys Gambit, which is one of my favorite Mezcos. It's still a great figure, even next to this Gambit from Mafex. The Mezco one is a more of a realistic look. Obviously, the Mafex is based off of the comic book, so the head sculpts are really what looks different here the most because of that fact. But overall, I still enjoy them both. I think I'm going to keep them both. I really thought I was going to have to choose between one of these, so I don't feel the need to own so many Gambits, including the Marvel Legend one, but they do such a good job with Gambit, and they just look great, and I kind of have to have both, at least for now. Who knows what I'll feel like years from now, but right now, these two are really nice and probably the best Gambits on the market. I will say, though, I think the Mafex Gambit does look better, but that does not mean that the Mezco version is not good. It is still an amazing figure. You're just going to get a lot more articulation out of the Mafex, a lot more poses, a lot more playability out of the Mafex, and it still looks stunning. So this one's a little bit more hindered. We've got the soft goods all over. The torso really doesn't move much, so it's a lot more stiff compared to the Mafex. And here we have him next to the Marvel Legends Retro Vintage X-Men packaged version of Gambit. This was the re-release and recolor of the initial Gambit. And this looks good for a $20 figure. It doesn't look terrible. Of course, next to this import, it looks obsolete. But for 20 bucks at the time, it was 20 bucks. Yeah, it's definitely still a good, decent Gambit. Just not the best one on the market for sure. In terms of scale though, Mafex does stand shorter, with the Mezco version standing taller as we saw previously. And yeah, for Mafex, I understand imports are always shorter than domestic line figures, so I always expect it, but it still has some decent height for an import. And then here is the initial release that was part of the Caliban Build-A-Figure wave. Although he didn't come with a Build-A-Figure piece, he was the extra one in the wave or the case. And you can see here's the same figure I just showed you from the retro vintage line, but the colors are different. We get a much darker trench coat, but everything else is the same. So it's just based off of preference. Honestly, the dark trench coat, I don't know if it does it for me, especially when you see it compared next to the lighter brown here on the Mafex. And I kind of have them in a similar pose here. Overall, the import is the superior figure, as it should be, since we are paying much more for it. And then here we have them next to the Mafex Wolverine. Tiger stripe, of course. And I do think they go well with each other. The sizes are pretty good. Wolverine should be shorter, so he is. And then of course we have Cyclops next, and he also does stand, I mean, honestly he stands about the same height, but with Gambit's hair it does give him some more height. And that is actually all of the Mafex Marvel comic figures that I have. I don't have much. I do have Jean Grey on the way, so that'll add another. I'm thinking about Storm, I'm not sure, and I'm also thinking about Magneto, and I'm also not sure. I just don't know how deep I want to get into the line, but I can say that this is definitely the best Gambit on the market for a 1/12 scale. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section below, and while you're down there, hit the like button and consider subscribing if you have not done so already. As always, everyone, take care, take it easy, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye.